Hello and welcome back to another episode of Jonesin' for Wins. My name is Craig Havens. I'm here with Jonathan Almanzar, and today we have special guest Samantha Andilla. Anyways, wanted to bring her on. She's going to talk to us a little bit about the Packers and how she feels the game's going to go. We're going to just go right into it. Samantha, talk to us. Tell me a little bit. How did you become a Green Bay Packers fan?
Well, when I was a little kid, I used to like watching sports with my dad. My dad basically likes New York teams and Philly teams based on our location, obviously. But he liked the Eagles as his football team, still does, unfortunately. Sorry, Eagles fans. And he told me to go away and let him watch the game. And I told him, "You're just mad my team's beating your team." And he's like, "You don't even know anything about football. You don't know this team." And I was like, "Yes, I do. The Packers are my team." And he said, "Name one player." And I named Sterling Sharp because I heard the name and I thought it was a cool name. So I decided I liked them, and it seemed to annoy my dad. So I thought it was cool to like them as my team.
So rebelling. I get to edit again. Woohoo! So,
So, I have a question right away.
Okay.
Sterling Sharp. So, was he your favorite player, or did you just say you could name him?
I was a little kid and I had no idea anything about football besides being able to like catch one and sort of throw one, a wobbly spiral at the time. And I thought the name was cool because that's when everyone was wearing sterling silver jewelry. So I was like, "Ooh, he must be cool." And also had Brett Favre at the time when it was right after Dan Najowski went down and Favre came and took over. And I mean, it was a great time to become a Packers fan.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
so it was out of spite for your father, which, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
So, who is your favorite?
At least you can both wear green. You can both wear green at least.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. They have like that new green because they used to have the Kelly green, and then when they did like the uniform revival and they got that like teal green, like that's not really green. It was more like a.
I agree with you. I hate their uniform.
I'm not a fan. I like the old Eagle uniform better than the whatever it is now, the new colors.
So, who would you say is your favorite all-time Packer?
That's hard. Throw out a random one. Bart Starr. I met him at a trading card show, like a show years ago in Baltimore, and he was supposed to be there the day after I was there, and I was like, "Oh, this really stinks. I'm not going to get to meet him." And then there was this little old lady, and she was smaller than me, and that takes a lot because I'm pretty tiny. And she was like, "Oh, honey, I'm sorry." And I was like, "I really wanted to meet him." I said, I've seen video from Ice Bowl, and I heard he's such a nice guy." And she's like, "Oh, I've heard the same." And I was just like, "This little old lady, what is she doing here?" She was so cute and sweet, and she was perfectly made up. And she's like, "Well, I think I can help you with that." And she goes behind like this white wall. It was like fabric over it. And all of a sudden pulls it and says, "You can come back." I went back. Sure enough, Bart Starr is back there, and that was his wife Cherry. And this was before he had a shirt thing. And I got to sit there and talk to him for about like 40 minutes. And this was it was right before the Packers won their last Super Bowl when they went on that run. And he was telling me that he thought Aaron Rodgers was the best quarterback that he'd ever seen play. And I was like, "Well, I think he is really good." I said he has great, like he's athletic, he's smart, he doesn't throw interceptions until now. But at the time, I was just like, "Wow, this is awesome." And I really thought the same thing. And then seeing Rodgers have that breakout season and lead them to the Super Bowl, I was just like, it was really cool. So he's
really,
definitely my favorite all time.
I don't know if he really. I mean, it was kind of like our point system. That was kind of given to him, but anyways.
Well,
You know who my favorite Packer of all time is?
who?
Mason Crosby.
Really?
You could count on him for every time. Like, he was great.
He
I
hates
was a
kickers
Colorado
too.
Buffalo fan. No, I know, but I was a Colorado Buffalo fan, and if I had a Heisman vote, I wanted to vote for him as Heisman winner his senior year at the University of Colorado, but I didn't have one, so I didn't.
Mason Crosby, like, what a leg too. Like, he hit so many field goals from
I know.
amazing. Like, year after year, it was like mechanical. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I like talking about football.
So I have a question follow up to your story there. You say Bart Starr was a big Aaron Rodgers fan. You were a big Aaron Rodgers fan. How do you feel about Aaron Rodgers now? This year, the last couple years? Has he lost it? I mean, mentally, has he lost it?
I think that there's been a lot of drama with Aaron Rodgers over the past couple seasons, which is something that I'm not personally fond of, because growing up as a Packers fan, it was Brett Favre. And yes, he went to rehab and there was things after he retired and ongoing now. But when he was on the field, like, you just felt like football was his world and that's what mattered. And he was there and he cared about the fans. And with Aaron Rodgers, a lot of the times I feel like he just gets involved in things that, it's great that he has opinions. I'm not saying not to have opinions, but I want to see him focusing on football and being like, hey, this is my priority more, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think it's very rough for him because there's been a lot of off-season drama the past few seasons, but he ended up being MVP back-to-back. So I think people were kind of like, let's not talk about that. He's still playing great. And this year, he doesn't have a true number one receiver. He's always had that. And I think that the offense is definitely struggling. I don't think they seem to be in sync. And also the Packers, it's in their team DNA. It's like, injury. Hey, you tear your ACL, you hurt your ankle every week. So that's been an issue as well. But I do want to say, he did have an interview, I think yesterday morning, or maybe it was this morning, I'm not sure. But he was saying how they can, with the season that they're having as a 3-6 team, and with a very, very small chance of making the playoffs, he was just like, we can either come in here and do work and just make it a job, or we can strive to do the best that we can and really make it something. And hearing that actually made me feel like, you know what, he is the player that I thought he was when they drafted him so long ago. Like, he does have that heart, and that, I don't know, like, it's basically a heart of a champion, if that's cliche, but
Fair
yeah.
enough.
It might have just been the Ashwanda talking too, like who knows?
We don't know.
So Craig keeps pushing for the Packers to start Jordan Love.
I'm not pushing.
I'm against it.
I ask if it's time to start seeing what you have in Jordan Love.
No, not yet. Not in my, I mean.
So I get a point. I get 1 point, Craig, because I said Packers fans would not want Jordan Love, and you said Packers fans would want Jordan Love. So it's now 8.5 to 4.25.
So there's a point system we work on here where I'm apparently in charge of stats and numbers and intros and all that stuff. Jonathan's job here is points, point control. He can give out points, nobody can take points, and nobody else can give points. So currently I'm losing.
I was a point guard in high school.
Yep.
I was a point guard in high school.
So he's guarding all of the points right now. So sorry. Go ahead. So Jordan Love, do you see him by the end of the year?
Depending on how it goes, I think. Depending on how the next 3 games go, I think that's going to make and they have 3 really tough games coming up. I think it's going to make or break their season. But as a Packers fan, and maybe this is just naive, maybe I'm just an eternal optimist, but I never count them out. Think about it. The last time they won the Super Bowl, they were 10-6. They looked really bad, and then all of a sudden, it was magic. And that's kind of how being a Packers fan always has been. Because I mean, growing up watching Brett Favre, they're down, he throws a bomb, and you were either like, okay, it's either going to be amazing and it's going to be a touchdown and they're going to win, or it's going to be an interception, they're going to run it back. But you kind of like lived by that, and it was exciting, and it kind of, I don't know, like it's Green Bay. And I still believe in Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback. I still think that he is a great quarterback. I think that they have a lot of issues this year with injuries. I don't think that the offense is really coming together. He has a lot of young receivers. I'm hoping that some of them step up for him. I think that if they do, I mean, when they were 3-1 a few weeks ago, and they looked great, but then it was just like everything just kind of went down. So I won't count them out completely, but if they don't turn around, I would expect to see more young players, including Jordan Love. And I think that if Jordan Love is coming in by the end of the season, I think that Rodgers may be exiting.
Yeah, that was my opinion as well. If we see Jordan Love, we won't see Aaron Rodgers, unless there's an injury.
I agree.
Interesting. All right. So, how do you expect this game to go? Let's. What are you looking for in this game? Do you see throwing it? I mean, you've got no Aaron Jones, correct? He's out. No Dobbs.
I believe that they said that Jones was questionable, that they were thinking he might play, but they weren't 100% sure on that one. That's what I saw earlier this morning when I got.
Okay.
They are down a couple of players. We're definitely going to need the wide receivers to step up. I think that if Aaron Jones does play, I think that they're going to need to utilize the run game. The run game has been kind of not really there. And they're going against a really great defense. It's also Mike McCarthy coming back to Lambeau. So if the Packers are struggling, I think that McCarthy is going to give it to them. So I think that they're going to need to have their A game on, and I'm a little bit concerned considering they couldn't put up points against Detroit, who's Detroit, and not going against one of the best defense in the league. So if they're not magic, they're going to be in trouble.
Jonathan, what do you think?
Thoughts? So 2 weeks ago, I was very nervous about this game. I still think the Packers have a shot at the playoffs. I think the Minnesota Vikings are wildly overrated. But after watching that last game, I don't feel quite the same. I feel like, I mean, how many points did they score against the Lions? 9?
9, was it?
I think it was
9. It was
9.
not very. It was.
And granted, they dominated the game in yardage. Aaron Rodgers threw 2 or 3 interceptions, like in the end zone, basically. So that I'm still a little nervous, but I think the Cowboys will pull it out. My biggest concern is the thing you brought up, Mike Holmgren's return to Green Bay. I'm worried that he's going to go start visiting the old restaurants that he used to visit when he was there, the old bars that he used to visit. I'm worried that he's going to have the masseuse show up that gives him the massage in the locker room while he's talking to the team. I'm just very worried about that whole situation. And so I could see that railroading the Cowboys' chances, but I'm still cautiously optimistic about us pulling out the victory.
He cried.
Oh, I have optimism too, because I'm thinking the interceptions that Roger threw, he's not typically an interception type person, and a lot of times if those throws are a little bit better, that's a touchdown. So how many times in his career has he had those like frozen rope touchdowns that are perfect? So maybe tweaks a little bit, maybe those are touchdowns, maybe we do better. And also Aaron Rodgers, I know he's not the whole team, but he's a competitive guy. And with McCarthy coming back, he's going to have something to prove there too, because if everyone remembers that whole debacle that went on, and McCarthy was really sad and talking about his daughters being born in Green Bay, and I mean, Green Bay is a great football town for anyone, and then he kind of left, and I didn't think that he was really treated fairly in that, because I thought he was a very good coach. I didn't want to like him, but I did.
We still don't.
So no, I think he was a good coach overall. I like the Packers coach now, but I liked him. I thought he had like, I don't know, just a good work ethic. He was like a blue collar type guy. He fit into Green Bay.
Yeah. Blue collar type guy that gets massages in the locker room while he's talking to the players. So,
That's
Craig,
weird.
what are your thoughts on the game?
Mine?
Yeah.
I see the Cowboys defense dominating this game. I do. I honestly don't think the Packers have a chance. I know and I know he cried, and that bugs me a little bit. But I know he cried. I know that there is the whole sentiment. I know he can't wait to see Aaron Rodgers, and apparently Aaron Rodgers can't wait to see him, which floors me. But anyways, they're all excited about getting together again. I'm sure Aaron Rodgers wants to see him because Aaron Rodgers probably is bringing the masseuse with him. And it'll probably be in the Cowboys locker room this time. But anyways, I think the defense is going to dominate. I think so. We've got Zeke coming back. We've got your babies, both your sons coming back, Jonathan. Your previous son that you're taking out of the family, Noah Brown, and we've got Sam Williams coming back as well. Malik Hooker is coming back. So, listen, Green Bay's tough against the pass right now, but Dak is back and he's throwing well. He's throwing better than he was beginning of the first week, and he is throwing better than he was the first game he played. Granted, it's the third game back now, but with no Jones, the injuries, your tackle, I can't even think of Bakhtiari. He's out.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he's out. With him out,
he's been having
with this defense. I don't know that I can see Aaron Rodgers having a fit on the sidelines a few times. I'm really hoping that Mike McCarthy doesn't back down on blitzing, on going after him. So, and I don't think he will. I think he has a lot to prove right now. And, I watched an interview, or I didn't watch, but I was listening to, on Sirius, they had Charlie Weiss talking, and some guy called up and he was talking to Charlie Weiss. He's like, hey, longtime fan of the Fighting Irish, blah, 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 and of Notre Dame, and, and he just keeps talking about Notre Dame to him. And Charlie Weiss is like, yeah, I don't know. Have you ever been fired in your life? And the guy's like, he didn't want to say yes, but eventually Charlie's like, when you get fired from a company, you don't go cheering for their success afterward. And I kind of feel like I'm hoping what Mike McCarthy feels is, listen, I loved it here. I love the people, but they fired me and I'm going to show them they're wrong. So I see a lot of running on Dallas's part, but I see a big defensive game.
So what is the deal with Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy saying they're excited to see one another again? They're both millionaires. The season's only 5 months long.
Hi.
They can see each other anytime they want. Yeah, there's
you moved away. I see you twice a week at least.
Unless one of them has a restraining order on the other one, or if there's something in their contract about I don't know. It's just weird to me.
Friend anymore? I'm too busy with my herbal remedies.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
So
on man buns, I don't know.
Oh man. Hey, is he trying to convert to Nicolas Cage? Is Aaron Rodgers trying to become Nicolas Cage? Because every time I see him,
have said that, they're like, they're the same, and I keep seeing memes, and I'm just like, oh.
Do you remember when Garth Brooks tried to become a
The rock star guy.
Yeah, and I think his name was Gage or something. That's what this reminds me of. Aaron Rodgers looks like Garth Brooks when Garth Brooks was trying to be this alternative singer.
All right, so
That he had every
Oh,
when
that
it,
was terrible.
oh, that's so gross.
so we also like to give scores since we've all given the idea of where we're at. Let's go through some scores. What are Sam? I'm gonna let you go first. Score at the end of the game. Who's gonna win and what's the score? It's quiet. I told you this question was coming. What's that?
I know, but 21-13 Dallas. That's my brain speaking, not my heart. My heart says 24-17 Green Bay, but
21-13, is that what you said?
Yeah.
All right. Jonathan, do you remember your score? Or are you making up a new one for this one too?
I have no idea what my last score was. I'm going to say 24-12 Cowboys. 4 field goals for the Packers.
You had 24-10 on the last one, so you're pretty close to what you said before.
Yeah, I got rid of the touchdowns. I'm going with all field goals.
So I'm going Cowboys 45, Green Bay Packers 10.
Oh,
and I can explain. I think this game gets away from them. I think we have. This is the game. This is the game where Turpin runs one back. So there's one touchdown. We're going to have a turnover on defense. Why'd you put your head down like that? We're going to have a turnover on game. We're going to have a turnover on defense that goes for a touchdown. By the fourth quarter, I'm going to get into that later. I'm just saying this game is going to get out of hand. It'll be 45-10.
Do you have any herbal remedies that Aaron Rodgers may fancy with you, Craig? Just curious.
Well, let's just say I got a shipment in recently of from Blue of Earth. So yeah.
Very nice.
So all right. I also told you we like to do our power rankings of the top 3 teams in the NFL right now. Do not put Green Bay on there. They don't belong there. So let's hear what you want us to go first, or you want to go first, Sam?
I can go.
Okay.
My team that I think have the Eagles. I know it hurts to say, but the Eagles won undefeated. They're playing very well. Can't take that away. Thanks, Dad. And the Chiefs, and then I think, because I think that I'm not going to say the Vikings because I think they're overrated and they're going to get exposed. Probably, I think the Bills have some things. I think right now, the Cowboys, I think, would be my top 3. That's my.
All right.
Yeah.
Jonathan,
I agree with 2 of your 3. Mine are the Kansas City Chiefs, the Dallas Cowboys, and the Seattle Seahawks.
Guy could be MVP this year. And a joke at the beginning of the season to MVP at the end would be pretty interesting. So for me, I've got Miami as number 1. I think with Tua back, they are huge right now. And they've just added a big difference into their defense. So I've got them as number 1. Kansas City is number 2. And I have the Eagles, I believe, as number 3. Because I got rid of the Vikings.
You do.
I do. I think that, one of my good friends is a Miami fan, and he's cautiously optimistic because he said that he doesn't want to get too hopeful because he feels like it could just all crumble down like cards. But I don't know, seeing them play, they look pretty good.
Yeah. Tua's back. Definitely. He's got some weapons that he can throw to, and he's doing it. And bringing Williams in, that's been a big help too.
If we put their coach up beside any other coach in the NFL, and you said, which one of these coaches is coach of Craig's #1 team on his power rankings, would you ever choose Mike McDaniels? I think you could go through every position coach. I think you could go through every coach's wife. I think you could go through all of them before you pick Mike McDaniels.
Grandchildren.
Yeah, I think that baby is the coach of the first place team that Craig picked rather than Mike McDaniels.
Are they winning?
Or family pets.
Yeah,
Are they winning?
Exactly. He's like, I don't know, that dog.
The hairless cat. I don't care. They're winning. All right, enough about this. Teams that are losing power. So out of power ranking, who is your team? I'll give you mine. Mine, I went back and forth between Minnesota and the Bills. I think the loss from the Bills is going to be Josh Allen. Not a loss yet, but we should hear about that today, I think that's, if they lose him, that's going to hurt. And so I put them there. I think Minnesota is going to prove themselves or lose themselves this week. So I've got Bills as my loss of power. I think that Josh Allen is going to lose sometime right now, and that hurts. Jonathan?
Minnesota Vikings, which I don't really feel like saying because I feel like they haven't had any power this whole year, but I'll say the Minnesota Vikings.
You picked the Denver Broncos when they were 1-8.
I know. They were 1-2, but I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, no.
So who you got, Sam?
I actually thought the Bills as well. I thought that they have a lot. They have some needs, like run defense, with like losing people as well. That might be an issue. So I think that, and I do think that Minnesota is definitely overrated.
Yep.
So I agree.
I think we can all say Minnesota is overrated. But again, they got some tests coming up ahead of them, and we'll see. So now it's time for the Seeing Stars. Seeing stars is something that is plausible, but not probable. So something that could happen, but may not happen. It would be, if it happens, it would be something like what I came up with, where I didn't earn any points, but I was pretty darn close on my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But Jonathan refused to give me any points for. Jonathan, I think, had McCarthy having a heart attack that week, which, well, it was.
A heart attack. I said that there would be some sort of medical emergency on the sideline by a non-player.
So it was plausible, but it was not probable. So I'm going to let Jonathan give his first, then we'll do you, Sam, and then I'll go.
Where?
Okay. I really believe that we're going to have a story break before the game, that Mike McCarthy left this giant tip at some brewery there in Green Bay. Everybody's going to be all excited. Oh, he's such a nice guy. All this kind of stuff is going to happen. And then after the game, 2 or 3 days, we're going to find out that it was probably something nefarious and he's going to be under investigation and all this kind of stuff. That's what I think is going to, that is my Seeing Stars prediction.
He can't do anything that has to do with the game. It's always got to be, or he's going to wear a jacket. One of the two. It's Green Bay.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously, it's Green Bay. He's going to wear a jacket. That's not, it doesn't matter. If he was playing in South Florida, he'd be wearing a jacket. So it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's up to.
Go ahead, Sam.
I'm going to make up something silly, and well, not really silly. I'm going to say that Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy like make up and talk about how wonderful and how much they miss each other and how they're best friends and everything like that. But then afterwards, there's going to be something in the newspapers that comes out that says about how Rodgers backstabbed him to get him fired, and it was the real reason, and McCarthy's going to run up the score on him because Aaron Rodgers is spoiled and selfish, and that's my
45 to 10.
guess.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that
Yeah,
scenario.
that would help you out, Greg. That would help you out.
So I don't know. She pushed a button and seemed to have ended her time with us.
No,
She's there.
Oh, there
She's
she is.
there.
Okay. So mine is we're going to have a sighting of love, and it's not going to be between Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy. It will be a quarterback coming in the fourth quarter. It's going to already be
Because of
what's that?
I thought
because of the score or because of energy?
Because of the score. Because of the score, he will come in, Love will come in. He is going to make a big impact in the game. Not big enough to score. He's going to drive the team down the field, and it'll be 7-38 at this point. He's going to drive down the field. He's going to throw an interception in the end zone. But it'll be like a tipped ball interception. It'll be a good throw that gets tipped and intercepted. Cowboys will go down and
I'm
they'll
remembering
score.
all these details.
That's fine. I write them down.
What is this segment called again?
This is Seeing Stars.
Seeing stars.
Oh, it's not the National Enquirer.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
Funny.
So he will, after the Cowboys score another touchdown, he will drive them back down the field, and they will end up, for some reason, to save them from another interception, they will kick a field goal, and the score will end up 45-10. But he will be there.
So for you to get a point, let's just be real clear.
Oh my gosh.
For you to get a point, Jordan Love has to enter the game in the fourth quarter. The score has to be, what does the score have to be?
38-7.
38-7.
Yep.
He has to drive them down the field, throw a pass into the end zone, but it gets tipped.
Tipped ball.
It's not just intercepted.
No, tipped.
ball.
It's going to be
It gets
tipped.
intercepted. Okay. The Cowboys then have to score a touchdown.
Yep.
Then he drives them back down the field and kicks a field goal.
Yes.
You never said who. Does Jordan Love kick the field goal?
He might.
'Cause that's
You
how it
never know.
sounded.
He might be. He might
Okay,
even.
let's
He
add
might
that
even.
in there.
He might even
And then
become the long snapper and the holder for this field goal.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
not kicking the field goal. He's not kicking the field goal. I want my damn point.
All right. We'll see.
That is what is going to happen. And when it does, you are going to fly up here. We're all going to go out. We're going to go get a beer at the new place down the road from us that I sent you pictures of. So it'll be a good time, and you're buying.
Okay. Yeah. If
All
that
right.
happens, we'll gladly.
All right.
Gladly.
That's good.
Nice.
Get your ticket already because you might save some money. I mean, in a hurricane, I'm sure tickets are cheap.
Yeah.
Sam, I hope you had fun. Did we forget anything, Jonathan?
No.
Okay.
Not that I know of.
All right.
Awesome.
Hope you
Thank
had
you
fun.
for having me.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well,
Hope you guys
good
have
luck. Not too much luck,
Yeah.
but good luck.
I hope it's a good game.
It will be.
Yeah. Craig doesn't.
He's
All
like,
right, guys. Thank you all very much. Have a great day.
He's frozen angry.
I'm not frozen.
you were.
Goodbye,
Yeah,
all.
you were.